why? Why am I saying you have to be excited? Why do you have to be passionate about a particular market? It's because you're going to spend time in there, okay? You're going to spend time in there. And now, the time we're talking about is not 40 hours a week, every day or more. There's nothing like that. But it is a commitment. You're going to need to give this stuff a year, right? You're going to need to be involved in a marketplace for at least 12 months. Now, it's funny, I got quite a bit of feedback over my doctor comments, and I sort of breezed over it in last week's episode, and I wanted to drill down into it here because I think it helps put into context what I'm talking about, the amount of work that I'm asking you to do as part of the challenge compared to a doctor and what they're all about. Now, let's think about the doctor's story. The doctor will spend, and I wrote these down. So the average degree in America, and it's an average one, not a high good school, but an average one, $169,000 it will cost them in terms of college fees. Now, of course, by the time they pay that off, they will have paid, when you include interest, $416,000. And they've literally spent 7 years in what they call foundation and internships as part of that process. So they've not only done pre-med and gone to college for that, but then for the next 7 to 10 years before they get into independent practice themselves. So, they've gone a huge amount of time. But people say, well, it's great because they earn so much money. It's fantastic, right? Funny you should say that. People didn't believe me when I gave the figures. So I thought I would get this up here for you. Have a look at this. This is the post their degree years. These are the averages right up through the 8th year income for the United States. And you can see here at the 8th post-MD year, $64,000 is the average wage of a physician in their 8th year. It's not until they get into individual practice or they specialise, which happens after 8 years, and that's after college, 8 years after college, before they get that amount of money. Now, I don't know about you, but that is flabbergasting to me. And there's something worse about this, if you like. There's something that is perhaps even more, it's hideous, it's sad, right? And it really is sad. For somebody to even contemplate getting into medicine right now, they've actually been preparing that since they were probably 10, right? They don't have lives. Kids who go into medicine, whose parents typically suggest they go into medicine, they don't have lives from the age of 10 because not only are they doing school, they're doing tutoring and after-work school and all sorts of other non-social activities. They haven't had a life. Through high school, they've missed their teenage years to focus on being in that top 001% because the perception is, the bill of goods that they're being sold is that this is a profession that makes money and it's a profession that can help. And yet you look at the most recent Atlantic article and they talk about the number of doctors being crushed by paperwork. And it's 10 years before they start earning the average, the average wage of a doctor after 10 years goes up to over $100,000, $160,000. So why do I tell this story about doctors? Because, hey, bless them and what they do. When I say to you, give me 12 months on an online business, and how much are you paying for the challenge right now? Zero. And I can't make my $100,000 and just put in a couple of days' work. I have to do more than 6 sessions of 30 minutes. Terrible. I reckon it's a bloody better deal than being a doctor. And think of the hour, like in those first 10 years, the hours are insane. Their average hours are 60 hours a week. When you realise that, when you realize what some of these, incredible occupations that you think, you get the money and everything, it's a long, long time. So being involved in doing the challenge, is it really that big an ask? Is it really that much to ask that you put aside half an hour each day to build your business, to take action every single day? I don't think so. Let's just have a final look at these figures again. That's after they've paid 106 or accrued a debt of, on average, not the highest amount, not the lowest amount, $169,000 of debt. Now, of course, I am happy if you want to send your checks to me and feel better about yourself and send me the $169,000. I will personally tutor you, no problem whatsoever. And we'll earn more than $50,000 in our first 12 months. How about that for a deal? No? Not many takers? I understand. That's okay. I don't take it personally. But do you see the inconsistency here? And that's what I really wanted to ram home. So how does this relate back to picking your market? It's very simple, right? By working and starting in your market, particularly you high fact finders, particularly you high follow throughs who are really concerned, you don't want to attempt activities unless you know the outcomes. And that's fine, right? There's lots of, for example, open heart surgery. I would really, really enjoy people who are high fact finders and high follow through who are absolutely certain of their ability to conduct open heart surgery on me, speaking of doctors. Very, very keen for that to happen. I don't want a high quick start YOLO type surgeon who goes, let's get in there and see what we can find, right? We don't want that. So there's plenty of places for that. It's not a bad thing. It's just a natural thing. But when you're an entrepreneur, you don't get those, ability to do that.